must learn.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your GIS News for Friday, September 1. Government has established the first zone of special operations as it steps up the fight to stamp out crime in the country. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the announcement at Jamaica House this morning, explaining that the order was signed today.
I have officially declared the first zone of special security and community development operations. The said zone shall operate for a period of 60 days. The zone is now declared in the Mount Salem area and environs.
Under the law reform, Zones of Special Operations, Special Security and Community Development Measures Act, the Prime Minister is empowered to declare a zone in consultation with the National Security Council. The declaration seeks to contain crime while safeguarding the human rights of residents and promoting community development through social intervention initiatives.
I have designated Major Godfrey Sterling of the JDF and Mr. Kirk Ricketts, Superintendent of Police of the JCF, to be jointly in charge of operations within the zone. I am pleased to indicate that I shall appoint Mr. Omar Sweeney as Deputy Chairman of the Social Intervention Committee that is to be established within 5 working days of the declaration of a zone.
Deputy Commissioner of Police Clifford Blake explains that Mount Salem and its environs was chosen as the first zone of special operations due to intelligence reports as well as crime data pointing to increasing murder rates over the past few years and the existence of 12 major gangs operating in the area.
While some of these gangs are not actually domiciled within this geographic space, they do continue to have significant impact in Mount Salem, and they are spreading their influence right across the St. James community. The objective of the Zones of Special Operation is to disrupt and dismantle these gangs and create a safer community.
Head of the JDF, Major General Rocky Meade, says hundreds of Army and police troops are now deployed in the area and they are fitted with visible name badges and special patches. He outlined the geographic boundaries of the zone. Prime Minister Andrew Holness explains that after 60 days, the situation will be reviewed to assess the impact on the murder rate and a return to public order, as well as whether community engagement and peace-building exercises are successful and entrenched. In response to questions about why the naming of a zone seemed so delayed, Mr. Holness said the government had to be deliberate, adding that the zone is designed to be strategic and not a reflex response to flare-ups. He explains that government was deliberate in its planning and implementation of the new policy to ensure the best chance for success.
Among the issues that we worked through and addressed were the following: additional training in human rights, the use of force and community development initiatives of persons to be deployed as members of the joint force, registration with the Institute of Forensic Science and Legal Medicine of weapons.
Prime Minister Holness says other zones of special operations will be declared in short order. In the meantime, the Prime Minister and Security High Command are stressing that there will be full transparency and accountability in Mount Salem and other zones of special operations.
It is our intention to keep the public informed, particularly those law-abiding residents living within the zone that we have first declared.
The Prime Minister will make a statement to Parliament within 14 days. At this morning's briefing, Mr. Holness also stressed that there would be no restrictions on media involvement in the zones of special operations. Members of the press are asked to seek accreditation through the Jamaica Information Service and then make contact with the ground commanders before entering a zone. A Zone of Special Operations Communications Unit will be established to ensure that information coming out of the area is both timely and accurate. The unit will be spearheaded by Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay of the Jamaica Constabulary Force and Major Basil Jarrett of the Jamaica Defense Force. And still on the zones of special operations, Justice Minister Delroy Chuck announced yesterday that government will launch an amnesty for guns and drugs in affected communities. He was speaking at a sensitization session for lay magistrates and justices of the peace on the Zones of Special Operations Act at the ministry's offices. The Justice Minister says once an area is cordoned off, persons in possession of guns, ammunition, drugs and other contraband will be allowed to hand them over without prosecution. The amnesty will run between the first 24 and 48 hours of the declaration of a zone of special operations. Once a zone is declared, Minister Chuck says a meeting will be held with the custos and lay magistrates of the relevant parish, who will then be introduced to the zone commander in charge of operations. The Justice Minister says appropriate technology will be employed in carrying out searches during the period of operation. In other news, the Ministry of Education is assuring that measures are in place to ensure safety and security in schools this academic year. Classes resume on Monday, and Director of Safety and Security in Schools, Assistant Superintendent Coleridge Minto, says the ministry will continue to implement its school-wide positive behavior intervention support program.
This is a team-based framework for creating and sustaining safe and effective schools. It places emphasis on the prevention of problem behavior, the development of pro-social skills, and the use of data-based problem solving for addressing existing behavioral concerns.
While addressing a recent JIS think tank, ASP Minto revealed that the ministry had trained over 2,000 representatives in safety and security, while deans of discipline were trained during their inaugural conference in July.
Plans are now being made to recruit and train 400 young persons to be engaged in the training of security operations and apprentice, and these persons will be placed in the larger primary schools as well as selected high schools.
ASP Minto says the ministry has also completed the procurement and printing of 6,000 safety and security policy guidelines. And finally, Jamaica has signaled its intent to deepen relations with the Republic of Chile with the signing of a cooperation agreement between the two countries' trade commissions. Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Minister Senator Camina Johnson-Smith and her Chilean counterpart signed the pact on Wednesday in Chile. The agreement will see JAMPRO and Pro-Chile promoting the exchange of goods and services between both countries. At a meeting with the Jamaican diaspora in Chile, Minister Johnson-Smith said increased collaboration between JAMPRO and JBDC was being initiated to make doing business with government easier.
Ultimately, the aim will be, and JAMPRO is working on creating a business portal and more information online so that you don't have to know who to call or find that person who will be able to explain A, B, or C, but is to have the information available online for all who are interested.
And to further boost the relationship, Minister Johnson-Smith says the government will be reviewing the country's air service agreement with Chile. This, she says, will increase the viability of people-to-people exchanges, tourism, and trade with the South American nation. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.